evening, sports fans, and welcome to the latest Breath of Fresh Air Shortie with your host, Charles Taylor. For this topic, we are discussing the Chicago Bears and the fallout from the shellacking they took at the hands of the New Orleans Saints, 36 to 25. And let's be honest, that score was not. It wasn't even as close as the game was. The Saints were destroying the Bears. I think they were up 36 to 10 at one point. But be as it may, the Bears got blown out in the game, and they scored a couple of garbage touchdowns late to make the score somewhat respectable. That game was a blowout. The Saints just took over in the second half and pulled away. And for the Bears, it's just a bad look altogether because this was coming off of a bye week and they were at home and they got blown out like this. So now the Bears sit at 3-3 and they're 2 games behind the Green Bay Packers for first place in the NFC North. And since the Packers beat the Bears on the first game of the regular season in Chicago, it's pretty much a 3 game lead. Now, of course, they'll play again in Green Bay because every team within the division plays each other twice. But the Bears are in trouble, in big trouble. They're 3-3. It doesn't look too dire. It doesn't mean they can't fix it. But this is what is happening with the Bears right now. They have a quarterback in Mitchell Trubisky who isn't good at all. Now, of course, he was a overall number 2 draft pick back in 2017, and the Bears have the chance to get Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes, but they moved up to get Mitchell Trubisky before they decided, or before they could take Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes. You see what those 2 guys are doing in the league right now. Now, personally, if we're going to look at the draft class for the quarterbacks there, Mitchell Trubisky was by far the worst out of those 3. Now, Deshaun Watson, he was coming off of a national championship season for Clemson where they just destroyed the Alabama defense, and it happened 2 years in a row. But in this particular year, they won the national championship. And Patrick Mahomes, while he put up some numbers in Texas Tech, the team success wasn't what you would want it to be. But you knew at least he had the raw talent to where if he got put in a system such as the one he gets to play in Kansas City, he could do some things. And you see what Mahomes is doing. He had the MVP season last year, 50 touchdown passes, 5,000 yards throwing. You see what he's doing there. But the Bears moved up to take Mitchell Trubisky instead. And the Bears are getting what they deserve, honestly, when it comes to making that draft pick. If that's what you wanted to do, you get what you deserve, as far as I'm concerned. But in the big picture, what the Bears are facing is they're a team at a crossroads. And what you have is a Super Bowl caliber defense, although they've been kind of iffy at stretches. This is a Super Bowl caliber defense. What you are facing is a situation like you had last year with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let me explain. Jacksonville made it to the AFC Championship game in 2017. Probably should have made it to the Super Bowl because they were beating the New England Patriots for most of that game. As it was, New England came back and won that game, and they ended up going to the Super Bowl where they lost to the eventual champion Philadelphia Eagles. But the next season, Jacksonville came in. They still had a good defense, but they still had Blake Bortles at quarterback. He continuously made mistakes. The offense couldn't score consistently. And what ended up happening was Jacksonville's defense pretty much gave up. They just didn't have the motivation, or at least that's how it looked from a person looking at it from the outside. But it just looked like Jacksonville gave up. Do y'all remember when Jacksonville was in Dallas to play the Cowboys and they gave up 40 points in a game where they just looked lackluster, didn't look enthused at all? This is what the Bears are facing unless they do something about the quarterback situation. So I don't know what the Bears are going to do. They have, they've been in trade rumors. I know I've heard a potential trade with the Carolina Panthers to get Cam Newton there. I had heard a potential trade with the Cincinnati Bengals to get Andy Dalton there to play quarterback. I don't know what they're going to do, but they have to do something because as long as Mitchell Trubisky is playing quarterback, it's not happening for the Bears. They may be able to get to a certain point, but that's it. They're not winning any Super Bowls with Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback. The man has regressed, and honestly, he wasn't all that great last year. I think he did what he could to be productive and keep the boat rolling. And I even said this year, at the beginning of the year, I felt like he could make enough plays to get the Bears a division title. Now, I didn't know how far they were going to get in the playoffs because, again, it's Mitchell Trubisky. So, but I felt like in the regular season they could do enough to win a division title. At this point, I don't even know if that's going to happen, and I don't even know if Mitchell Trubisky is going to make it past the season as the starter. He's regressed. He looks lost out there. He can't make reads. He looks like a guy who's in his rookie year again. And you're supposed to make improvements, but I think at this point you probably have what you have with him, and the Bears seriously have to consider making some sort of a move before they lose the team because I think the defense may start quitting out there. And I felt like that was starting to happen against the Saints on Sunday, where it was short fields after short fields, fumbles were happening, and the Bears had to come out there and try to stop the Saints from scoring. With the Saints having great field position to start off, it's not looking good in Chicago. You heard the Boo Birds coming out in Soldier Field. The Bears need to do something. But if they decide they're going to continue to ride with Mitchell Trubisky, good luck to that. And you get what you deserve because you could have had Watson or Mahomes, and you decide to take Trubisky. So, as you can tell, I'm not the biggest fan of Mitchell Trubisky. Well, that's what I'm breathing on for this episode. Make sure you guys smash that subscribe button on the BOFA YouTube page and continue to give us the likes on the Facebook page as well. We appreciate the love for trying to build this thing up, and I think it's coming. It's just a matter of time. So everybody take care. Happy hump day, and we will talk to you later on this week. Take care.